Hello and welcome back to the Puck Drop podcast. I'm joined today by Harry Bird. How you doing today, my friend?
I am absolutely smashing. I'm looking forward to our fans listening to the final part of our big Raiders weekend.
I know it's actually been an incredible week this week, having, as you guys know now, Aidan Wilson came on. But we've also got a very special interview planned up for today for this episode. Harry, do you want to say who it is?
As you probably know, well, as you hopefully know from our amazing social media graphics, which are, may I say, a step up from last year. Shout out Brody for the amazing new graphics that we've been having.
I put
Is
in effort.
the one and only Captain Jack Cooper, and I personally am so excited about this interview. I think it's one of our interviews that went pretty flawlessly, if I'm honest. We only had one hiccup at the start, and for your auditory pleasure, we have eliminated. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to sharing it with you guys. And yeah, should we get into the episode, Brody?
Let's get into the actual episode here. So we're going to start off with our Raiders news. Last weekend, Raiders took a pretty decent weekend of results with a win against Bristol away and then a win at home in overtime versus the Hull Seahawks. Harry, all in all, how do you think the weekend went for the Raiders?
All in all, I think the weekend for the Raiders was absolutely phenomenal. Seeing that the boys come back from 1-3 down and winning in overtime 5-4, it was absolutely phenomenal. And that Sebastian Moore goal was something else. I mean, I can't say that I haven't been thinking about that goal all week. It was the highlight of the match, if I'm being completely honest. So yeah, and the win against Bristol, yeah, it was expected, but it was good to see the boys playing confidently away.
Yeah, definitely. And on the topic of that goal against Hull, the Slough two ways this so far this year have just looked comfortable and actually looked really like that. They look like they have a proper presence on the ice.
Yeah, no, the Slough two ways definitely aren't looking out of place. I mean, some of the two ways, not just from Slough, but some of the two ways we've got with the Buccaneers, I think that they definitely, I wouldn't say would be on a two way for much longer. I think some of them definitely have the potential to be on a full term contract next season. So I'm looking forward to potentially seeing some of these two ways move up next season because some of them definitely have the potential for National League, and I think it's just a case of them needing to build up their confidence in South One before they come up to National.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it's great having a whole like system around the Romford Raiders here, which is going to produce so much great talent.
Yeah, Harvey Briggs scoring was great to see, and I think seeing him slowly build up his confidence in the National League is great to see. And he's played what one game for the Buccaneer this season and got four points. Like he's killing it in the national South One League,
Yeah.
and I think after a season on a two, where I think he's definitely going to be ready for the step up. And I mean, he's got so much potential, and I think it's really being being boosted by the full system we have in place now. And we spoke to Jack Cooper briefly about his thoughts on the new junior structure leading up from under 10s all the way to the senior team. So look forward to that. Um,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah,
And for Harvey, only being at the age of 21, it, he's still got so much more time on his hands, and he can still go out and he'll go. I expect him to be in the elite league at some point in his career because I think he's just got that potential there, and all Raiders fans can see it, especially after some of the plays he makes, even when he isn't scoring, he's still putting in the effort. He's still putting in body checks against some of the big players in our league. And I think that definitely is a sign of a true, true potential that could definitely go places in the future. But we're going to move on swiftly now from the Raiders news to the league news. The Slough Berkshire Bee-Jets are finally climbing up the table, and they're finally, they're actually flying out the bottom, and it's actually interesting to see because now we've actually got a bit more. We've got another team on our hands that we have to watch out for, and I think we need to. I think it's nice because a proper league is when you have every one of the teams fighting at once. And currently, unfortunately, we have one team that's not in Telford, but we have the Bees that are finally starting to pick their game up a bit more and actually starting to try and make their way up the league a bit more.
Yeah, it's really disappointing to see what's happening with Telford going from a playoff side last season to they've not won a game this season so far, and it's kind of sad to see because I was expecting them obviously to be one of the top four contenders, to be honest. Because last season they were a pretty strong side. I know when I was on my way to a game, I was a bit shaky if I knew it was the Tigers because I know they're a strong side with some strong players, and they still have the likes of Luca. I mean, I love to hate him. He's a good player at the end of the day. They've got Luca. They've got who's that other guy? Scott McKenzie. They're both good players, and I mean they've got a pretty solid squad if you look dive into all of their statistics. But it's sad to see that they're not gelling and they're not performing we we expected them to. So it's going to be interesting our game this weekend with them, don't you think, Brody?
Definitely, yeah. I think it will be obviously having them currently, they haven't won a game. It's not our sign to go in with a bit more of a relaxed mind. We still need to go into the game with a positive mentality and still need to go in there looking for a fight.
Yeah,
With
we
that.
still need to go in thinking that we're playing the likes of Leeds. We still need to go with our best foot forward.
Yeah, and I think the mentality shouldn't change just because of your opponent. I think because if that happens, then they could shock you. And I think we need to just play how we have been playing. Possibly try and not take it to overtime because I don't think the hearts of many Raiders fans will take it. But yeah, I think we need to definitely just go in with the same mentality as we have been, and we should come out with the result that we want.
I mean, I'm not gonna say any names, but in this league, we definitely see what happens when um, teams high up in the table go against a team lower in the table, kind of expecting the win and then fumbling it.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
wonder
and
who I could be talking about.
there's a few. There's a few that we will not name because we don't want to annoy anyone. Um, both Hull and Leeds, both Hull and Leeds have officially lost their unbeaten streak. Not because of anyone in particular, Romford, but but yeah, Hull has lost their unbeaten streak to us, and Leeds have lost it to Swindon Wildcats. Swindon Wildcats, for a minute, have they're a bit of in my opinion, a neutral team. Sometimes they can go out there and perform. Other times they can go out there and they might not be as good as they want to be.
Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe.
Sometimes maybe exactly like that. But I think as a team, I'd rather watch my team have a bit more of a competition about them than watch them and go, oh no, they're going to beat every single team in the league, have an unbeaten streak for the whole season. I think at the end of the day, that's a bit boring. I think having a team where you can lose a few games but win a few games is nicer to have around you because those games that you win, you will appreciate a lot more because obviously you know that maybe you might not go and perform the week after, you might not have performed the week before. So Swindon, for me, I think are definitely a team that are going to be up there by the end of this year. And I think we should definitely watch out for them, because I think they're going to, they will start putting in a bit more effort, and I think they will start to obviously beating Leeds. That's a great start to their campaign, but I think we should definitely watch out for them, because I think they're going to start performing very soon.
They're definitely a wild card, eh?
So unfortunately, guys, Harry Bird's been kicked off the podcast. Not through a lack of enthusiasm, although we could argue somewhat, but just a lack of humour. I don't know why we even bothered to get him on in the first place. I think I probably should have taken Eddie Brad. If you give me a call, mate, we can happily. I will set something new up. Anyway,
we had on Jack Cooper, who I had the pleasure of interviewing, and Brody had the pleasure of asking the fan questions.
Yeah.
So I was so excited about this interview, because all throughout the preseason, I was like, oh, it's going to be Captain Jack this season. It's going to be the season of the the Pirates of Romford. See what I did there, because it's like Captain Jack.
Right, so unfortunately, guys, Harry Bird's now just been murdered. Not through his lack of trying, just through his lack of, once again, no humour. Anyway, we're going to cut now to the Jack Cooper interview, because we want to, and it's our podcast, so you better listen up, because if you like Captain Jack Cooper, you'll like this. Thank you very much for listening to this first bit of the podcast, but I think we should cut to the more important bit of the week.
So today we are joined here with Jack Cooper, the brand new captain of the Romford Raiders. Welcome to the podcast, Jack. How are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. Thanks for having me.
We're really excited about having you on. So let's dive straight into questions.
Let's go.
So, how does it feel to be named captain of the Romford Raiders after so many seasons in Romford?
It was. It's an honour, to be honest. It's a club that means a lot to me. I've been there since I've been 6 years old. So, so it's a big honour, proud moment for me and my family.
And leading on from that, so having iced with the Raiders since you were 6, how has the team and the junior system evolved over the years from what you've seen?
Back in Ron Valley Way, when I started, the junior setup was really good. We probably produced the best junior talent in the country. We always done well. We was always in the top leagues of juniors, and I've won nationals with the juniors, and many of us have gone on to either play in this league, some people play in the elite league. It's the junior setup is great, and I can sort of see it coming back now. Now we've obviously moved into the Sapphire with new management and stuff. It's looking good. I've jumped on the ice. I jump on the ice most Fridays to help Ethan with the goalie coaching and get to see a little bit of the junior training, and it looks good with Alan Lack in charge.
I mean, that's good to hear. I mean, seeing what the Ron Valley Way era of the juniors is like, I'm excited for these juniors to get up to that level. And it's great to see homegrown talent such as yourself playing for the senior team. So I had a bit of a stalk of your elite prospects and saw that you did a season in Haringey, and I think apart from that, it's Romford all the way through. So how did that compare to playing for Romford?
Yeah, the only reason I went to Haringey is when the rink shut at Romford. And being the age I was, I knew if I'd have gone straight into Raiders, I probably wouldn't have got the ice time that I needed to develop into a senior league. So Haringey was available, and they held open trials, because it was a new setup. Went over there and actually thoroughly enjoyed it, and it did help me get the ice time that I needed, especially in the senior league. stepping up and learning how to deal with senior players, and obviously the physicality is a lot higher, and the strength of players is a lot bigger than what we're used to. So playing them minutes, I think I've done a season and maybe like 5 or 6 games into the second season, and then I don't know if you know, but the previous coaching sort of set up in Raiders all disbanded, and then there was a new sort of takeover, and my previous junior coach Alan Blythe messaged me and see if I wanted to come over, and obviously as soon as I got that phone call I said yeah, I'll come practice on a Thursday, and then agreed to sign, and then that's it. I've not looked back.
I mean, I think I speak for the whole of the fan base when we say that we're glad you haven't looked back and you've stayed playing for the Raiders.
I appreciate it. It's a club that means a lot to me, so I wouldn't really want to play anywhere else.
So I think everyone knows about the legend that is Bill Cooper, who runs the home penalty box.
Yeah.
So we wanted to know, what is it like when you get a penalty and have to go in the box with your granddad?
For me, I'm used to how my granddad is, so he's obviously, him and my nan basically was with me throughout my whole. They've been with me since my hockey career started. My nan used to take me up and down the country during juniors, and obviously my granddad used to watch. He was at work, so if he wasn't at work, he could take me to practice and stuff. But he's always been. Both of them have always been there for me, and my granddad was part of the team at Haringey as well, so he volunteered at Haringey, so I was used to him being within the setup, and he loves hockey in general, so the role that he's got there is perfect for him. And just having him in the penalty box, I know what he's like. He loves to talk, so I go in there and he can just chew me ear off, which I'm used to. But obviously other players go in there and they're a bit wound up because of the penalty, or they're a bit angry and they don't really know how to take him. But no, it's all right for me, and he enjoys it, and it gets him out of the house as well. So yeah, it's good for it. It's good to have him there.
I think I got to know him quite well during the last off season, the off season before, going to watch the recreational teams, and he's a stand up guy, to be honest. But what really surprised me is he is shockingly good at magic.
Yeah, to be honest, he has got really, really good at it, and it's became mine. So I travel down with Ethan James. We live around the corner from each other, so we travel down on match days, and it's become part of our ritual to have 1 or 2 magic tricks before we go up into the room. And he's genuinely got so good he's only been doing it maybe 2 years now. And for someone that has such a bad memory, I don't know how he remembers what he's doing throughout the tricks, but he's actually smashing it. So I'll take my hat off to him.
Yeah, I mean, it baffles me every time. But back to the hockey questions. So what are your goals for the team this season, both as a captain and a player?
It was hard to sort of set a goal at the start of the year because of the whole new setup, management, coaching, players. I always me personally, wanted to make playoffs. And just seeing how we've gone so far, I think we can push for maybe a top 5 finish, and comfortably be in playoffs. And I would like to grab a trophy this year. I know we obviously have not done it over the years, so going for that would be special for us as a club, and for me as well. I
mean, the way it's going, I think you're definitely right. It's looking very strong so far.
Yeah. I think we've turned a couple of heads. I know, I don't really take too much interest into what people say about our team because it's down to us at the end of the day. But I know a lot of people had us finishing dead last or scraping the barrel and not making playoffs. And I think we've turned a couple of heads. Unbeaten at home, beat an unbeaten team at the weekend. So I think people need to, they will start taking us seriously from now on.
Yeah, I think that win against Hull definitely shook some of the Hull fans up, and yeah, it was great to see you guys come back from that.
Yeah, it's 2 weeks in a row now. We've come back from 2 goals down in the third, and to be fair, like with the team that Hull have got, they've got a great offensive team, and I feel like we was with them regardless of the score going up to the third period. I think we was with them pretty much all game. Just a couple of silly mistakes that we made, and obviously they've capitalised on them. But I think we can give any team a game, especially at home. We seem to be a different team at home. We've only really played, we've played 2 away games now, but MK away is obviously always a tough game to go to, and we didn't really perform there. But going to Bristol, where in the previous years we've won, but it's been a bit hit and miss, where a bit of a goal show really. Like I think we've won like 7-6 there and stuff like that, where we dominated the team on Saturday, and it just goes to show how much the team's changed. And then going into the home game, we knew it was going to be a complete different game. We knew obviously they're unbeaten, so they're flying, and we just needed to play our own game, and I think we've done that.
Yeah, I mean, it's been great to watch the team and how it's coming along under the new management and coaching. So
yeah, it's been a big change for all of us, and I take my hat off to Leish. He's not been in that role before, so he's doing a great job. The practices are good. The way he manages the team's good, and I feel like it's just I'm not putting a downer on the past years, but I feel like collectively we are more of a team this year, and I think it's showing on the ice.
yeah, I think when we spoke to Aidan, he was saying that it's such a cohesive group that it makes playing in it a doddle.
Yeah. Like obviously, I played with many players over the years. Romford, obviously, you got the core Romford boys that stay there, and every person, like outsider, if you want to say that, that have come into the setup, I've always said it's been a great room to play in. So I think we've always had that good energy in the room. But this year just seems a little bit, I don't know, just something's clicked, and we're all together. We hold each other accountable. We shout at each other in practice, shout at each other in games, but we know it's just to get the best out of each other on the ice. So there's no hard feelings anywhere. We just come together, work on it, and then just keep going.
So kind of leading on from that, how do you balance the pressure of being captain and looking after your team with your own performance?
I don't know, because it's new to me. As I've been a captain in juniors near enough every year. I was in like second year of juniors, but obviously being captain of a senior team is a complete different ball game. And although I'm very loud in the room, I'm not really a big public speaker, so that's something that I've had to work on and improve this year, because obviously people, well, I don't know if they look to me for things to say, but I've been more outspoken in the room, so that's what I've worked on just for myself. But I don't think I've changed too much where I've been there for, I think it's my 11th season now, and everyone sort of just comes together and looks after each other. So I don't focus on it too much. Don't let it get to me or anything. I just try and focus on the game that we're playing and how I perform on the ice. And then if we're underperforming, then I'll say something in the room. But there's many leaders in the room, so everyone steps up and speaks when they need to speak. So I've got good company with me.
So as a defenseman, obviously, because we had Aaron Connolly, who's a forward last season. How do you feel that, obviously, captaining the team from the blue line, do you feel like it gives you an advantage? Do you see the game in a different light, captaining from the defensive position?
I don't know. That's a good question, actually. I feel like as a D man, you see more of the game because you're constantly looking up ice. The goalies see the most out of everyone because they're constantly looking up ice, so they see everything that's happening. But Aaron is hands down the best captain I've ever had in my career, and spending the last 6 years, I think it was, with him has helped me learn what to do and what not to do. So yeah, just having mentors like that is a good thing.
So one final question before we move on to our fan questions, which will be done by my lovely co-host Brody. What message do you have for the Raiders fans as you step into your new role?
Just to keep turning up and supporting us and being loud. I know it's like cliche to say, but it genuinely helps us on the ice. The more loud the rink is, the more energy it gives us. And to be fair, this year seems to be the loudest it's been since I've been there. So just keep doing what you guys are doing, really, and just cheering us on and giving us that extra bit of adrenaline that we need on the ice.
Yeah, I mean, me and Brody do like to say week on week that we wholeheartedly believe we are the loudest and proudest team in the league. So
yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, it's like even on Sunday just gone when Seb scored that goal, and you can't even really hear yourself thinking that in the rink. It's just so loud, and it's unbelievable to have that feeling as a player on the ice.
Okay, so we are now going on to the fan questions. So, Brody, are you ready?
I'm ready. Yeah. So 3 of your fellow teammates, Jack, have both asked very similar questions.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say all 3 of them. I'll just sum up. Basically, want to know what's going on with your hair and your hairline. That's what they've all Ethan, TJ, and Elliot have all asked about what's going on with your hairline.
Before we go into it, Elliot can't say anything about no hairline because that geezer's hanging on for dear life. But it's just old age, I reckon. I say old age, I'm only 28, but I've had a stressful life, I like to put it down to. My dad's bald, my granddad's bald, so I know I'm going soon. That's what I put it down to.
That's fair enough. Someone's asked, how much are you enjoying being the captain of this team under Adam Latram's watch, basically?
Yeah, it's been unbelievable so far. I think, especially because we're on such a good roll at the minute, so it obviously be a little bit different if we was losing every game, I can imagine. But right now it's great. Practices are good. Everyone's happy in the room, and just having Leish there as the coach, he's got so much experience. Probably the most experience that anyone's got in this league, bar from a couple of people. But just having him there to talk to or just listen to what he's got to say and the system that he wants to play it's unbelievable to have.
Yeah, and I've watched a few of the practices, and I can just see the hard work that's being put in to perform. And I think it's definitely from last year, I think a step up. Looking at it, and I think it's been nice. It's been nice to watch and to see the progress that people have made, especially some of the younger players, like you got like Joe and all that have just stepped up a bit more and just started getting involved, and I think it's good to see.
Yeah, no, definitely to have players obviously like Bryn's now moved on to the Elite League, which is incredible. But having Joe and Bryn with us last year, I know they only played a certain amount of games for us, and now Joe's full time with us. Is just seeing his work rate at that age, not afraid to get into any battles, hits everything that moves, and just doesn't stop. Like it's good to see, and hopefully we can produce more of that through the junior setup. Yeah.
So Dave Leach has also asked a question as well, Mr. Dave Leach. So me and Harry were a bit confused on this one because we didn't know what was meant.
Right.
He says, when are you going to retire your granddad? We believe it means Bill, but it could be a chance that he's saying, when are you going to retire? I don't know what he's saying.
I don't know, really. If it's aimed at me, I genuinely don't know. whenever the Raiders don't want me back, I'd probably call it a day.
Yeah.
Or if my body gives up, then I'll call it a day. In regards to my granddad, I don't think he'll ever stop. So
Yeah. So even our mascot has asked a question. He's just said, "What are your thoughts on him? What's your thoughts on Bruce?"
that's a great mascot. Great seeing him on the blue line with us when we have a national anthem. Yeah, probably the best mascot in the league.
Fair enough. That's a good comment. So my sister's also asked a question as well. She said, "How has this season been different from previous ones now that you are the captain?"
I wouldn't like to say it's anything that I've done or implemented into the team, but I think just having a complete new setup and everyone knew that we was under it from the start. Everyone's got eyes on us. So just turning up and working our bag off each week to perform on the ice. That's the only thing I think is really different is, like we said earlier, the togetherness in the room, the togetherness on the ice, and just the work rate through the week leading into the weekends. I think that's the only thing that's really different. Just that never give up fight that we've got this year, just to play to the final whistle regardless of the score. I think that's about it.
Yeah, fair enough. Someone else asked, "What has been your best moment so far as a captain?"
As a captain, probably beating Hull, because we knew it was going to be a very, very tough game, and they're unbeaten and we was unbeaten at home, so someone's unbeaten run had to finish and we got the job done in the end. So that was a big proud moment. I know it's only early on into the season, but to prove that we can beat a caliber of team like that means that we can beat any team in this league. So if we can keep this up for the rest of the year, then who knows what can happen.
Fair enough. And the final question, it's quite a good one. Do you prefer a hot or cold shower?
Definitely a hot shower, but the showers in our change room like to take your skin off. That's how hot they are. So not that hot, but definitely not a cold shower, because even when I'm hot, that freaks me out, that stuff.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
I mean, before we start, but I've got a controversial opinion. I actually think cold showers are better.
Really? See, I wouldn't mind a cold bath, but that's just like an in and out, maybe a minute, 2 minutes, like a bit, pretty much like an ice bath. But just having cold water just on you constantly, nah, it's not for me.
Right, thanks for coming on, Jack. It's been a great
for having
interview.
me. Yeah, no, thanks for having me, guys. Keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you very much.
No problem.
Right, that was Captain Jack Cooper right there. Thank you very much to him for coming on and joining us. Looking forward to, well, what is listed here as next weekend, but actually is just tomorrow when we are filming this.
Technically, it's today on release of this episode, because
Exactly. So,
as you know,
happy hockey weekend.
As you know, we always release on a Saturday at midnight, so you can listen on your way to an away game, or today's case, on your way to the home game.
Or if you need a way to get to sleep, just listen to the bits where Harry's in. Anyway, so yes, we've got Telford at home tomorrow, and unfortunately, as we've said, they've lost every game. Harry, I'd like your score prediction, please, mate.
All right, so I'm gonna go with a conservative estimate of, I want to say 3-1. And I'm even going to go one step further by predicting we're going to have a Leisure score, and I think there's going to be a fight as well. Those are my predictions for Telford.
And my predictions for Telford are we are going to witness a 4-1 game, and Joe Tomlin is going to score our first goal. I feel like he's got something in him, and I think as soon as his line gets onto the ice, I think we are going to see something magic happen. And a fight, well, you want to see a fight. That's a main part of hockey.
I think that's the main thing that hockey fans just. I don't care what anyone says. If they say their favorite part about hockey is, but we all know deep down our favorite part about hockey is the fights.
Well, yeah, exactly. Like I remember the first ever hockey fight I saw him drop the gloves on the floor, and I think, oh, he's accidentally dropped his gloves. Then they just started beating each other up, and I was sat there like, right, okay. I didn't know that was going to happen, but
I think that's one of the things that sets hockey apart from all the other sports is there's so much more emotion outwardly displayed, I would say, than other sports. Because
definitely.
If you've got a problem with someone, you go and tell them, and I think that's one of the
if you want to,
reasons
you can punch the face in. It's brilliant.
Yeah, it's like I think that's one of the reasons why hockey has captivated me because there's no. I wouldn't say in football you get as much raw emotion between players, and I think also I'm not ashamed to admit it. I think another reason why I love hockey is because I love the fact there's 3 periods of 20 minutes because it's just long enough that I can concentrate for the whole thing.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway,
back to
after that little sidetrack. So as you know, hockey teams usually play 2 games in the weekend, and we're playing Hull Seahawks away on Sunday. Can I just say it's safe to say that this year I've looked at the teams and I thought at first I was not going to really like the Swindon Wildcats. Turns out I don't mind them because comparing them to the Hull Seahawks, it's just you can't compare them. That's what makes for a good game. I think the gloves will be the gloves will be on the ice on Sunday. They'll be dropped on the floor. When Sean Miller beats Sveck's face in, then it will have the final laugh. Thank you very much.
I mean, I think between Romford and Hull, we definitely have the makings of a good rivalry this season. I mean, we've ended their unbeaten streak, so now that they've got something to prove against us. So I think it's definitely turning into some kind of rivalry, but I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing because it's those games between rivals that you really see the passion and the drive that the players have.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's what makes a sport a sport. You have to have a bit of rivalry, otherwise it's just going to be boring half the time. Anyway, I think that's about it. I don't think we've got anything more to say, but I have got one thing to. I've got some.
There is what going for a change. I think we're actually going to announce next week's interview on the podcast before we.
Yes. Can I do it?
I mean, you're going to have the pleasure of interviewing him, so yeah, I think.
Yeah. I would like to announce that Matt Rempe from the New York Rangers is coming onto our podcast. Oh, did I get the wrong one?
Oh. Okay,
I'll do it. No, I've got it. Okay. Romford Raiders, number 10. Brandon Aliff will be joining us next week on Saturday. Definitely Saturday. To talk to us about, well, I think one of the questions we're probably going to ask him is why is he so fast?
Yeah.
He's quite fast. He's quite a fast guy. I think.
When did he become the Lightning McQueen of ice hockey?
Exactly, yeah. Is Jack Cooper Mater by any chance? Anyway.
That's funny.
Anyway, thank you very much for joining us today. It's been an absolute pleasure. And any feedback, you can always message us over at GB Puck Drop on Instagram or on Golden Blue Army on Facebook.
Or on our website.
On our website. You can email us at gbpuckdrop.uk. Anyway, thank you very much for joining us. I've been Brody. He's been Harry. Goodbye.